Hello, and welcome to the Codex Prime Podcast. We are on episode 106, and it is Tuesday, January 23, 2018. I am your host, Victor Omoayo, and with me, as always, is my co-host and social media chair, Carl Byrd.
What's going on, y'all?
Yes, indeed. We are back, man. It is so good to be back. Our third episode of the new year, 2018. And speaking of the new year, we're going to be talking a little bit about last year, our final wrap-up of last year, talking about our worst of 2017, things that we didn't like. So that should be pretty cool. So like things like whether it's like bad movies, bad.
We already know you got your list. I'm stuttering like the mother. Jesus.
Yeah, bad movies. What's bad in the world of wrestling, pop culture in general, nerd culture. You know, we'll throw it out there. But we do have a jam-packed docket. We have a lot to get into. Specifically, I got a couple of film reviews on tap. Carl's got whatever's going on in his life. We got Raw 25, the Oscar nominations, which have been announced. And
when were they announced? Like
this morning. Yeah.
You sure? Because I kind of heard like a couple of days ago about Mary J. Blige being nominated.
Oh no!
Spoiler alert.
Oh no! All the Oscars were.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, Furman?
Yeah, you already knew that was
yeah. Yeah. So thank you, Furman and Kyle, for joining us on the chat. And thank you, Monet, for joining on the chat.
Yes, thank you, Monet.
Yes. So, yeah, we...
yes, Furman. Only what?
3 days...
4 days away.
Yes,
4 days away from one of the most probably fighting game of the year.
Is it War Gods 2018?
No.
Is it Mortal Kombat XXL?
No.
Is it Street Fighter 6.5?
No.
I don't know.
You might as well. I wouldn't even call it a full 6 if they do the same shit that they did for 5.
Oh yeah, Street Fighter 6. We're gonna release a title screen.
6-ish.
Yeah, yeah. Here's two fighters and a title screen. Go nuts for $50.
Oh God, that's
But yes, apparently in 4 days you guys will have your little cartoon fighting game. What's it called?
You know what it's called. Here you go. Being, I swear, you are like the people in the old school Polano all fruit commercials.
Oh, come on now.
Will you please pass the Polano all fruit? Pass the Polano all fruit. Will you please pass the jelly? Oh my God.
So yes, the fighting game in question is DB. Yes.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yes.
My pre-order's ready.
I thought it was Fighters.
I call it Fighter Z. It could probably be. It can be either or.
Okay. Well, actually, I for one am glad that this game is coming out, because now that it's coming out, Furman and the rest of the fellows will finally stop inundating our group chats with, "Hey, you heard about this new fighting game coming out?"
Well, actually, the Freddy Cup is this Saturday.
Oh yes.
And you are invited.
Thank you, Freddie.
And I'm expecting you to go.
Oh, I will be there. I will be there for sure. In fact, I've been getting into the fighting game groove.
You know what? Days. Yeah, I've been wanting to ask you about that. Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, I've been playing Injustice 2. I've been playing. I'm halfway through the story mode of that game.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. And it actually made a Supergirl interesting character.
Yeah.
Yeah, more interesting than I thought she was.
More interesting than the CW network.
I haven't seen the CW Supergirl. Heard it's a mixed bag. Kind of depends on. Yeah, kind of depends on what you're looking for, I suppose.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I'm really liking Injustice 2. It's actually even better than the first game. I will definitely finish the story mode. I've also been playing more of Tekken 7, which I've had a lot of fun with. And I cannot wait for Freddy Cup this Saturday. I know DB's Dragon Ball Fighter Z will be on the main course, as well as some other fighting games on the menu, which I can't wait to get into as well.
It's just whatever fighting games that we can bring, and there's always one retro, and I'm actually covering the retros.
Oh, okay.
At this time around.
All right. So what's the retro pick or picks?
The first 3 Mortal Kombats.
Oh, okay. Interesting. You know, of the first three Mortal Kombat games, which one was your favorite?
Two.
Two? I agree. Yeah.
Two. Three was definitely a game changer because it's like I mentioned this on the podcast before. It was like the first two were like very, very slow. It was like if you spill, like I mentioned, it's like if you spilt Kool-Aid or your precious Polana all fruit on a controller. But once 3 came out, that's when you had the run feature, and that's when the combos came into play.
Yeah.
That's when like it just Mortal Kombat became what we know Mortal Kombat as today.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember I actually had a Mortal Kombat 3 for the Super Nintendo. Yeah. And
I don't think I had 3
yeah.
for Sega.
Yeah, three was fine. I mean, I agree that part 2 is like the better of the 3 games, and part 1, when you look back at it, is kind of like a good proof of concept.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and I still remember the blood code.
Oh yeah, is
A B A C A B B.
That's right. Yeah.
Did Nintendo 64 have a blood code?
Oh, you mean the Super Nintendo?
Yeah, Nintendo 64.
No, not for the first Mortal Kombat. The first Mortal Kombat was just like spit and sweat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
But they had fatalities. So.
They had fatalities, but it was like totally pointless and neutered. But like Mortal Kombat 2, that's when they got the M rating. So
Mortal Kombat. It's because of Mortal Kombat that we have video game ratings now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, Kyle is asking the question: what is the Freddy Cup?
Freddy Cup is a tournament that's held 4 times a year, once every quarter, and it's a fighting game tournament where Freddy provides one game that's for the tournament itself. It's a double elimination tournament, and then we also have other fighting games that you can play on the side, and it is always like one retro. So I believe like last time for the Super NES Classic came out, so the retro was Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yep.
And also it was like original. It was a Ninja Turtles fighting game.
Tournament Fighters.
Tournament Fighters, yeah.
Yep.
So that was it. Before that, we played we played Rival Schools for one, and so was it Soul Calibur? I want to say yes. Another one was Def Jam Fight for New York, which was such. Oh my god, I would love to see that. Even though it's still PlayStation, it was a PlayStation 2 game. I would still love to see that get like an HD remake.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that and Def Jam Vendetta. Yeah, Vendetta was more of a pure wrestling game.
It was.
Yeah,
it was. And even then, Vendetta was like amazing.
It was. Yeah.
Because like, rap is wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they were. I like to think they were inspired by that Method Man Redman video, "Tear the Roof Off."
I want to say so too. That was a fun video.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. All the fighting game extravaganza known as the Freddy Cup. We'll give a detailed report, perhaps in the next week's episode.
Man, I don't know if you can. I hope you can handle it because the trash talk is serious.
I'm fine. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, shit. I talk mad shit all the time.
You do.
Yeah, on this podcast. Speaking of, let's talk about. That's not. Let's not talk about football. But anyway, Carl.
See, it's gonna start.
Nah,
it's gonna come up.
No, it's not. Well, here's the thing. We won't acknowledge it. We ignore it, and it'll go away.
Okay.
Yeah. So with all that, Carl, what have you been up to this past week?
I finally got my Super NES Classic.
It's right there, man. Right there.
So my goal is to get all of the all those classic novelty consoles. Mm-hmm. So I got my NES Classic. I got the SNES Classic now, and I got the Sega Flashback.
Nice.
I'm going to get the Atari just for the hell of it.
Okay.
I'll probably play the Atari like twice, and that'll be it.
And let it collect dust?
No, just for the sake I'm just going to have it just for the sake of having it.
Okay.
So nice I didn't really get a chance to play it as much as I wanted to because I live with a 2-year-old, and the TV pretty much consists of Moana, Finding Dory. Still don't see why you cried. Lilo and Stitch. And lately, Tiny Toon Adventures.
All right. Okay.
So there's a little bit of nostalgia for me. So.
All right. 90s are still alive.
Yeah. So I mean, I had to watch the Baby Plucky skits, if you remember.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
The water go down the hole, elevator go down the hole, stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, man, that was so funny. Now I don't need to watch it anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I dabbled onto, of course. So I managed to dabble onto Street Fighter 2 Turbo,
Okay.
the hyper edition, and I still once again find that Sagat was harder than M Bison.
Yeah, he was a hard boss.
But, Sagat wasn't even the boss.
Yeah, he was like he was
He
like,
was second. He was
he was one of like the final four you had to beat.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Vega, Balrog, Sagat, and then M Bison.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like Sagat was harder.
Yeah, he was like I think he had like the Tiger Fireball and the Reach.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was that reach.
Yeah.
Like the second you jump at a Tiger uppercut,
Mm-hmm.
and then but you eventually after like a good amount of tries,
Yeah.
you eventually beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? And Bison probably 2 tries maybe
Yeah.
tops.
I'd say so. I remember.
That. So then I also, of course, if you're gonna play Super Nintendo, you have to play Super Mario World.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Super Mario
So
World.
which was the first game that featured Yoshi.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's
And
true.
I'm just like, dun, 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 next game.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it for me. And then I went into Super Metroid.
It's a classic.
Great game. It was hard as fuck though. I was like, for me at least, maybe because I actually never really played Super Metroid.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, because I went from regular Nintendo to Sega.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I never really... And, you know, I have friends who had Super Nintendo, and I would go over their houses to play it, but it was always, like, playing fighting games and stuff.
Yeah.
But, so... And none of them had Super Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I finally had a chance to play it, I'm like, damn. I mean, the game was cool,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, all right, you know, it was just so hard that I had to go on YouTube and get a walkthrough.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, I know with Super Metroid, I remember there were a couple of spots where like once I beat a certain boss, like I would be totally stuck on what to do. Like I would like backtrack several times in like different areas and not know where to go, so I'd have to consult a walkthrough. to
Yeah,
figure out
but
where to go.
each game has a save feature too.
Oh, that's good.
So you don't have to start all over all the time.
Mm.
And then if I'm on the go and if I'm under some Wi-Fi, I'm still playing Streets of Rage 1 on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
It passes so much time.
Oh, I bet it
It
does.
really does. Like if you're in the supermarket and stuff and at the wrong time of the day,
Mm-hmm.
screw it. Just play it.
Nice.
So that's that. So I got into some comic book reading this past week with X-Men: The Return of Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
So it features just what happens is like all the X-Men, just new and old, all together, and then like some strange happenings, strange happenings. Oh my goodness, some stranger things started happening.
Okay.
In New York, where it's like this little girl was just like, it looked like she was dead, like she was just bleeding,
Mm-hmm.
and then next thing you know, like she has like no wounds.
Okay.
And, you know, 2 kids find her.
Mm-hmm.
They try to help her. And then they end up like catching, it's not the Phoenix, it's I guess a feature of like a powerful feature of the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, the same thing ends up happening to them.
Yeah.
So then by the time the X-Men get there, which are led by Kitty Pryde,
Mm-hmm.
we're like, hey, we got a reading, so we want to check this out. They talk about the 80s like God does about the 90s. Vic, stop hating on Ready Player One. It's a great book where the 80s are back again. So yes, they will be talking about it a lot.
Oh, yeah. Furman just is affirming his love for Ready Player One, the book.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give the movie a chance. Yeah.
I still say read the book. Just read it. Do you have a copy of the book?
I do.
No, just read it chapter a day.
All right.
That's what I try to do.
Yeah. Oh,
But anyways, back to it. So so the X-Men come together and try to figure out. They split off into 3 different parts of the world where they were picking up these readings, and they find themselves like fighting like holograms of their past. So like the comic features Old Man Logan, but yeah, he's fighting young Wolverine.
Okay.
Okay, the comic features Magneto. But yet Magneto finds Jean Grey in New Mexico, where she's just like working a dead regular job. And Magneto like finds her. He's talking to her, so it's like Magneto's talking like she's talking to Jean Grey, but yet he's fighting the X-Men.
Okay.
Okay, and so there's several other enemies, but there's still. But where I'm at, it's a 5-part series. Where I'm at, they're still trying to figure out what's going on, and a huge phoenix just appears in the sky.
Okay.
And Jean Grey is also like hallucinating, like, oh my God, these, like, what's going on? You know, she's having a hallucination. She's starting to feel things, but she's still like, she still really doesn't know what's going on. They go to Jean Grey's grave and they find out it's empty, and they're like, okay. And Beast is like, okay, something's up.
Yeah.
And then that's where I left off.
Okay.
So that's one. Yeah. So 1 through 3. There's 2 more left. Looking to get that and looking to get those.
Cool.
All right. And next is Raw 25, but we're gonna discuss that together. So I'm gonna go on to what the hell you been up to.
Yeah.
Peace on, Furman.
Yep. What I've been up to? Well, I've watched a couple of very interesting films this past weekend, and I've also. But before I get into that, I wanted to touch on real quick. I did catch the pilot episode last Tuesday of Black Lightning on the CW. That show it stars Cress Williams,
Scooter.
Yep, Scooter from Living Single as Jefferson Pierce, a.k.a. Black Lightning. China Ann McClain as Jennifer Pierce, his younger daughter. And Nafessa Williams as Anissa Pierce, who's his older daughter, who has superpowers of her own. Christine Adams.
Wait, who's the other older?
Anissa Pierce.
Oh, okay.
She goes by the name of Thunder, like in the comics. Let's see, Marvin Jones III, who plays Tobias, the albino crime boss.
Okay.
And also William Catlett, who plays a low-level crime boss who goes by the intimidating name of Lala.
Lala.
Yeah.
Growing up in the hood, like some of the most like Stanley Tookie Williams.
Tookie? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's big and scary as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was.
Yeah, true. He was the founder of the Crips, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So Black Lightning, it's a show that has tons of potential. I liked the pilot episode. Cress Williams, he stars as the main character, who's retired, who like a decade ago retired his superhero persona Black Lightning to focus on raising his family. After he realizes that being Black Lightning has had a adverse effect on his family life. Every night he comes home bloodied, beaten, scarred, like just laying in a bathtub full of water, which quickly turns red from his wounds. And his wife just can't take that anymore, so she compels him to hang up the outfit, the suit, and just focus on raising their families. So he's been working as a high school principal, just trying to do the right thing, just living his life. But he's been, but in this episode, he's been compelled to return as Black Lightning once this gang called the 100 or the 100, they start ratcheting up all the crime and corruption in their city. So like more people get shot, more people get kidnapped. There's just things are going to get out of control to the point where the police can't handle it themselves. And on top of that, Black Lightning, he also has to deal with being a victim of prejudice, at the hands of dirty cops, being unfairly pulled over, unfairly profiled, and all that, despite being an accomplished man. And so he puts on the outfit, and he decides to take it to those who would do his family wrong and the community wrong. And like I said, Cress Williams, he plays the role very well, and he does project a good amount of gravitas and assertiveness and confidence in the role. And I think it would have been a nice little Easter egg if, say, Queen Latifah co-starred like as his like ex-wife, but so he can kind of like make the whole living single connection right there, I guess. But I thought it was really cool. His two daughters, they're also interesting characters in and of themselves. Like the youngest daughter, Jennifer, she's very rebellious and she's all about just trying to be the Miss Popular girl. And her older sister, Anissa, is trying to keep her on the straight and narrow, trying to prevent her younger sister from being a little fast little heifer running around the school, and also William Catlett. William Catlett he's a good actor who does a great job playing douchebags.
Is he? Yeah, can you give me something that he played in?
He played in some whatchamacallit, some like online web series like on YouTube, like That Guy. And also he was also on this romantic comedy series called First, which was on YouTube.
All right.
And yeah, he does a really good job of playing like douchebag ass dudes. Like he can portray villainy very well. And in this particular episode, like there's a scene where like he has this little kid who like who goes up to him and like he's like, I guess he messed up a delivery or something, right. and then Lala like just straight up threatens him, says like, "Yo, I'm gonna beat the piss out of you. I'm gonna beat the brakes off your little ass if you don't do what the f I say." And it straightens the kid up, and I'm like, "Yo, this dude is so good at playing a douchebag. Like if I met him in real life, I'd be like, yo, go f yourself, dude." But yo, he plays a good villain, and also Marvin Crondon Jones III, who plays Tobias Whale. He's like the main villain, so he's Lala's boss. He's definitely got an intimidating presence about him too. He's a black dude. He's albino, and I guess maybe that kind of fits into his character because like he does have this unusual appearance, but he also like every syllable that he utters is like, "Yo, don't cross me. If you even look at me funny, I will fucking hang you by the balls outside a goddamn 5-story window."
Well, damn.
Yeah, so that's the image the aura that he portrays. But yeah, like I said, Black Lightning, it's definitely got some serious potential. I will be checking out the second episode tonight.
I know who Marvin Crondon Jones is.
Yeah, you've seen him before.
He was the albino in Exhibit's group Strong Arm Steady.
Yeah, that's
right.
So
he's a rapper too. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, he's a rapper too.
All right. Oh, and Nick Quattrini, shout outs to him, yo. He shows us tons of love. Yeah. We need to get him on the show.
Oh yeah.
So, but he said Black Lightning was great. It gave me a Luke Cage and Batman vibe because the neighborhood is crumbling. Batman calls the secret room suit.
Oh yeah. One of Black Lightning's his mentor, James, played by James Remar. Like he was Dexter's father on the show, Dexter.
Okay.
He plays Black Lightning's mentor, and it's like a longtime like family friend of his, and he's a tailor, and so he also like has a secret room in his store in the basement where he creates his outfit.
You know who he is?
Who?
He played Raiden in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh my god! Oh, so Christopher Lambert didn't reprise his role in that?
No.
Oh shit! For some reason, I thought he did. Wow. Oh, wow. Now I know. I remember. But he's done better work since then.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So yes, I encourage people to check out Black Lightning. It's on CW Tuesdays at 9 p.m. It's a good show, and I like what I see. It's a good time to see black heroes doing their thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still laughing at that.
Yeah, and so for the two movies that I saw this weekend, they just opened in Rhode Island, and these two films I hold near and dear to my heart because they're that good. The first movie that I've seen was Paul Thomas Anderson's latest film, Phantom Thread, which stars Daniel Day-Lewis, Vicky Krieps, and Leslie Manville.
Yeah, you haven't shut up about that all weekend.
Yeah, I know. It's an exceptional film.
I saw your hashtag see this film.
Yes.
And Facebook status.
Yes. This like Phantom Thread is an exceptional film. Like if it had opened last year in Rhode Island, it would have been my number one favorite film of 2017. And this film stars Daniel Day-Lewis in his final performance. He's now retired. He stars as it takes place in the London in the high fashion world of the 1950s, and Daniel Day-Lewis plays a renowned fashion designer and dressmaker named Reynolds Woodcock, which coincidentally is my stripper name. Hey, so he plays a. So he's Reynolds Woodcock, and the film follows his character, and he falls in love with this waitress named Alma, and Alma Elson, played by Vicky Krieps, who's this woman who ends up becoming his new muse, to create his latest fashions and latest dresses, and their relationship runs hot and cold, to say the least. And I really can't divulge too much about the plot or be anything much beyond the setup, but what I can tell you is that this film is absolutely incredible. Paul Thomas Anderson, he not only writes and directs this film, he also serves as a cinematographer of this movie as well. And the film is just resplendent, man. It's just pulchritudinous. You have such beautiful shots of these beautiful dresses that Reynolds makes. You have all these like sweeping shots going from room to room, different interiors. The performances are absolutely incredible. Daniel Day-Lewis, man, there's a reason why he is the first and only actor to win 3 lead actor Oscars. And when you say like leave it all on the stage, or leave it all on the screen, or leave it all in the ring, this is what Daniel Day-Lewis does. Like, this is definitely one of his best performances. Like, he plays a character who's so mercurial. He's pretentious. He's like a pretentious creative type. Like, he's a dude who has a very strict routine, and any deviation beyond his routine, like, it just totally messes up his day. And he's such a tightwad that even if you're like sitting next to him and you're like eating breakfast, and if you're scraping butter on the bread too loudly, or if you're chewing too loudly, or sipping a little bit too loudly, like, that just puts him off, and that just like ruins half of his day right there. That's how much of an uptight jackass he is, kind of in the film. And then you have Leslie Manville, who plays his sister Cyril, who's this ice queen. She's very stoic, very ice cold, and she does a very good job of helping Reynolds run a tight ship as far as his business is concerned, and all the employees and all the dressmakers that he employs. And Vicky Krieps, who plays Alma, his love interest, man, she goes toe to toe with Daniel Day-Lewis in every scene. Like, she does a great job of playing this woman who, on the surface, she appears, very nice, very, very personable. But then throughout the film, you kind of see how bullheaded and how stubborn she is. And when you see their relationship unfold, it's kind of like the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Mm-hmm. And so the movie, with the relationship kind of shows you, like, what does a relationship look like when you have both partners that hate compromise. And it's just an engaging film from start to finish. I love the story. I love how it unfolds. Paul Thomas Anderson has a perfect command of pacing and the tone. Like, you're just riveted throughout the film. And also the musical score by Johnny Greenwood. Man, this is some awesome work. It's like piano and classical melodies throughout the film. Like, it's on Spotify too. So if you can listen to the score on Spotify, I highly recommend it, because it's some of his best work. And man, I love the soundtrack. I love the score. It really puts you in a mood, puts you in a sophisticated mood. Like, you want to sit down, have a glass of Moscato, and just, enjoy the day.
Moscato's a hood ass dessert wine. It's something else.
It's not a hood ass dessert wine.
Yeah, you could have said Chardonnay or something.
I like Chardonnay.
Okay.
I mean,
you could have just said something.
How is Moscato hood?
Because the only people I know who drink Moscato are hood.
But that doesn't make it hood though. Moscato is a classy wine, okay, and it happens to be my favorite. Now I'm gonna have to pick another one. Thanks a lot, Carl.
Okay, why don't you just pick like Chardonnay or something?
Well, I can't remember the last time I drank Chardonnay. Pinot Noir is fine. I mean, I'm more of a white wine person.
Sure.
Yeah.
Beer.
Yeah, whatever. Well, speaking of beer, I do like Miller High Life, but
High Life's cool.
Yeah, but and Sam Adams, but yeah.
Yeah, depends.
Yeah. So yes, Paul Thomas Anderson's latest film, Phantom Thread. Please watch it. It's in theaters now. It's an incredible film. if it still makes it on my top 20 list this year, then it's going to be awesome. I love this film. Daniel Day-Lewis, thank you, sir, for, decades of awesome acting work. You left it all on the screen. You didn't overstay your welcome. You could have been the broken down veteran with a bad hip, And the
middle finger goes, hey, cousin Marion. You just got saved by my cousin Marion.
So yeah, that was Phantom Thread. Please check it out. It's in theaters now, in Rhode Island. And also the other film that I watched is a beautiful film which just came out. It's called Call Me by Your Name, and it's a film starring Timothy Chalamet, Armie Hammer, Michael Stuhlbarg, and Amira Caesar, and Esther Garel. And this was directed by Luca Guadagnino, who directed the 2010 film I Am Love with Tilda Swinton. And it's also written by James Ivory, the legendary producer and director. This film, Call Me by Your Name, it's set in northern Italy in 1983, and it follows the romantic or love relationship between a young guy named Elio and his father's assistant named Oliver, played by Armie Hammer. And the film takes place during like a vacation in northern Italy. And Elio, he's kind of like a bookworm, kind of keeps to himself. He likes to read. He has a little thing going on with this French girl they're just doing their thing like what young lovers do. And Armie Hammer's character Oliver, he arrives. He serves as his father's assistant, like they study linguistics. And throughout the film, Elio develops a crush and infatuation on Oliver, and Oliver in turn, develops a little infatuation, or a little crush of his own towards Elio, and you see their, relationship blossom throughout the film. The film is is a character-driven piece, and it's driven by two excellent performances by both Timothy Chalamet and Armie Hammer. Chalamet, he's so great in this film. I'll start with him as a lead character, Elio. He does such a perfect job of portraying, what that feeling of young love, like when you're 17 and you fall and you're trying to figure out yourself, you're trying to figure out these complicated feelings of like infatuation, having a crush and falling in love, and like making a good impression, or do you think you're good enough? And then like the way that he looks at Oliver is just kind of heartbreaking, and like it's kind of sweet too.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but I can understand people who would cry in this film. Like, I will say this though, for anybody who watches this film, like if you're single and if you're looking for that special someone, get you that special someone who can look at you the way Elio looks at Oliver, because the way Elio looks at Oliver is the way I look at the Criterion Collection section at Barnes and Noble. So, there's a lot of love there, man. I'm sorry. Okay, you got my composure back.
Need some water or something?
No, I'm good. Armie Hammer is also terrific as Oliver, and he's kind of a more of like a typical all-American white dude, and he's like kind of have like some jockish, a little bit of arrogant type qualities to him. But throughout the film, like once he gets closer to Elio, you can kind of see that veneer kind of like fade away around them. The film has a great soundtrack as well. It's got a good mixture of classical music, 80s pop music, especially from Giorgio Moroder, John Adams, Ryuichi Sakamoto. And it's also got 3 awesome original songs by Sufjan Stevens. And his 3 songs in the film are absolutely very good. Like, for example, Mystery of Love is terrific. And also the final song in the film, Visions of Gideon, which plays over the closing credits. And without any spoilers, I got to say, stick around for the closing credits, because, man, that was like an emotional gut punch. I didn't cry, but I can understand people who would cry in a film like this.
He cried.
I did not cry. I would admit if I cried, but I didn't. So
That is true. Yeah. You do admit it.
Yeah. So yes. So yeah, if you're looking for a beautifully told romantic story, a story about young love and like all the joys and the pain that it brings, and just beautiful visuals of the Italian countryside, watch Call Me by Your Name. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes of just sweetness, just beauty. I love this. This is one of the reasons why I love films, man. Why I love going to the theater. Why I love supporting good art. You know, don't bootleg this shit. Just go and watch it.
Did you watch it by yourself?
I did watch it by myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and thankfully that's because and you know I got to give a quick plug. Thank you, MoviePass.
Okay.
Yeah, because thanks to MoviePass, I've been saving money on movies since December 1st. Yeah, so I can see any movie I want in the theater just for $9.95 a month. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's beautiful. It's one of the greatest apps I've ever had in my life.
How does that work, anyways? Like,
MoviePass? It's a subscription service.
Right.
So it's an app you can download on your phone. And what you do is like you subscribe and it's like $9.95 a month.
correct.
And so what you do is you go to a theater. So you have to physically go to a theater. So what they do is MoviePass, they send you a MasterCard, MoviePass MasterCard. So you go to the theater and with your smartphone, you just punch in the theater that you're going into and the showtime of the movie that you're going to watch. Once you do, then it has a check mark on your screen saying that, your ticket has been purchased. You have 30 minutes to claim your ticket. So you go into the theater, use your MoviePass MasterCard, boom, and you get in. You watch the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it only works one movie per day. So and it resets at 12 a.m. every day. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so if you want to watch those bad movies, like hey, you can watch it guilt free, $9.95 a month.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. You said you wanted to talk about Raw 25.
Yeah, last night was the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, I do gotta say, shout outs to our Wrestling Fantasy Warfare group. Adrian, Eddie, James Grande. Oh my God, there's so many of the guys I want to shout out. Nate Alves.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a ball watching.
Yeah, I will.
And joining in on the thread, I had an absolute ball watch.
Yeah, like I also joined in on the thread.
I had to tag you in that one. I was
Yeah.
just too much. Lou Fabrizio, Alan Turnbull, Kyle.
Yeah, I will say that the Wrestling Fantasy Warfare thread it made the show enjoyable because I will say if you take away the nostalgia tripping on Raw 25, you're left with a trash show. Man, that was a trash show.
I wouldn't call it trash.
Yeah,
It had its high moments.
It had its moments, but
I said this.
yeah,
It was cool, but could have been a lot better.
by leaps and bounds. Yeah,
But like I said, the thread made it entirely fun. So like I enjoyed it. A lot of it because of the thread.
yeah.
Like
me
I'm
too.
sitting here just laughing throughout the whole entire thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like I will say like the best moment of the show, like the two of the best moments were Stone Cold coming out stunning Vincent Shane at the top of the
Because
program.
he was so soft with it though.
Yeah. Yeah, he was soft on Vince, but
He had to be. Vince is 70, okay? He was stunning Vince when Vince was in his 50s.
Yeah.
Vince
So-
was able to handle all that back then.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then Shane had to eat two stunners, which is funny.
He's younger. He can take it. If Shane can freaking jump off a Hell in a Cell onto a table
Yep.
with a protective mat under,
Yep. True.
he could take two stunners and be okay.
Oh, absolutely. And survive a helicopter crash.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And Stone Cold, like he had the biggest pop of the night and like he didn't even say a word. Like
He didn't need to.
nah, just went out
He
there,
just went out there,
raised the hands, drank beer.
stunner. That's it. Like that went back to the '98 where Vince would come out, cut a promo, talk his shit, yada yada yada. The glass shatters. I mean, I would probably say that Stone Cold's entrance music is probably the greatest of all time.
I'll agree. I agree.
Between that and Hogan.
Well, I would say Hogan.
If you go back to the 80s, just go back and watch those, shows from the 80s. Like, once you hear that, dun, 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 I mean, people went insane.
Absolutely. Even I did.
Like, it was crazy.
And you know what? Speaking of the Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme, I gotta say this, yo. Shame on WWE for releasing Jim Johnston unceremoniously. For those who don't know, Jim Johnston, he was for the past 32 years or so, he was responsible for creating many of the iconic wrestling themes.
Correct.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mick Foley's, Kurt Angle, Undertaker's, The Rock.
I love the Undertaker. Like, he did. There's a video where he just like played the Undertaker's theme on a piano. It was like so soothing.
Yeah, I can see that being like a nice relaxing.
Oh, I'll play it for you after the show's over.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So Jim Johnston, big ups to you, my friend. I hope you find your feet once again.
And he don't need to do nothing. He can retire off that money.
Well, here's the thing though, like, because you know how WWE doesn't have like closing credits.
Right.
Like Jim Johnston did. He was interviewed. He was on Sean Mooney's podcast. Remember him?
I know Sean Mooney.
Yeah, Primetime with Sean Mooney, and Jim Johnston said that, well, because WWE doesn't run end credits on their shows, production credits, like nobody in the industry really knows who he is.
Right.
And so like it's for him, but he
had his fair share though.
But
he
for
got
him,
his fair share of credits.
Yeah, but for him, it's like he has to start his career all over again, pretty much. That's where he's at, which is unfortunate because the dude is a legend.
Which is true. No Mick Foley, Hogan, Bret Hart, Orton, and The Rock. What's up with that? Okay, I know because I caught a couple of headlines. Bret Hart wasn't there because Bret Hart had an injured hand.
Oh yeah.
So he had I guess a follow-up appointment that he couldn't miss.
Yeah.
Because when he was at Comic-Con, like, he had a cast in his hand.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah.
Mick Foley also said that he was invited to come, but he had a prior commitment. Hogan, they're still kind of iffy about bringing him back.
Yeah.
Because, all the those racist remarks that came up, 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, and we live in a very PC world, so it's like, that's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
The Rock, he's a little too high sedity. Like, The Rock doesn't need WWE, but it's like, never forget where you come from. I always say I read this in Charlemagne's book, and I highly agree with this. You always got to return to your core.
I agree.
Return to your core because it kind of just refuels you to where you want to go. Just got to go back to where you was just to refuel you to where you want to go.
I mean, I could see that, but at the same time, Rock is a very busy man. He's got Hollywood film commitments up the wazoo.
Okay, but it was like, you know what? He could have been humble enough to just say, you know what? If it wasn't for these guys, I wouldn't be here.
Well, he did tweet about the show.
Fuck a tweet. Okay, a tweet. You know what that's like?
What?
That's like you posting like this big event. And you invite you post this big event on Facebook. Right. You invite somebody, and they say maybe. Okay. Maybe they'll show up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fair. Nick question.
WWE, I think, watched Hogan from their history after what happened. They didn't watch him because they did take him out of the Hall of Fame page because I'm like, pretty touchy. That was a pretty touchy subject.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think they watched him because they still show his highlights. It was like they didn't watch CM Punk.
Yeah, they had the pipe bomb in the.
Yeah, they had the pipe bomb and they highlighted the pipe bomb and they still showed him. They ain't show Chris Benoit.
Oh hell no!
They never gonna show Chris Benoit. They showed Eddie.
Yeah, of course. Eddie's a living legend.
Well, they showed Hogan. I mean, they showed Hogan. They showed Ultimate Warrior. And he was on bad terms with the company for years.
Yeah, and Ultimate Warrior wasn't exactly a good person himself.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. I got his autograph.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is like, it's on a DVD, which is worth a lot now.
Oh.
Possibly.
Is it the self-destruction?
No.
No.
No, he put out a He with this company called Ringside Collectibles. I'm actually in a picture in their website.
Oh,
I'll
nice.
show you. But I forgot about it, but I'll show you. But he put out a shoot interview with them. So they put it out, and he signed exclusively. He signed 500 DVDs exclusively.
Oh, wow.
So I was able to pick up one of them. I think I picked up like 378 out of 500.
Okay. Nice.
So like I remember that like when he died, I remember moved to a place and I didn't have a place to store all my wrestling videos, so I stored it at my boy's house, which are still there, I hope. And I just once I learned that he died, I'm like, yo, where's all my wrestling videos? Yeah, they're still in the attic and stuff. Yo, are you gonna be home later? Yeah. I'm coming over at this time. I went into that attic and just to retrieve that DVD.
Oh, wow.
And posted on Facebook and stuff like, wow, he just died and I got this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Like I literally stopped everything that I was doing that day just so I can get that.
Oh, wow. That's some piece of memorabilia right there.
Yeah, I think the last I checked, it was like once he died, like it was worth like $350.
Wow. It's a collector's item for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
But yeah, the show, nostalgia for the nostalgia, yes, but I think they could have done so much more. If more people were available. Did they mention Owen Hart? I didn't see. They did not. They can't.
Yeah, Martha Hart.
Yeah. Just please, Martha. Just let us.
Yeah.
Just let them. Just let them at least throw him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. They even released the DVD.
We got that.
Yeah, which took. They had to go through hell to do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we got more hell to go through.
Yeah.
We need to like petition that shit.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably a good amount of petitions.
Yeah, probably.
But she's just bitter. She never liked the wrestling business from the get go. Like I couldn't even finish her book because like once she gets into like mentioning wrestling, like she just badmouths it,
I see.
and it just became repetitive to me at one point. I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to finish it now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Still have it if you want to use. I don't know.
Nah.
No, I know where it's at, but it's stored away.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that. I will say like I said the Raw 25, the 25th anniversary, it took place at the Barclays Center and at the Manhattan Center, which was where Raw began.
Okay.
In '93.
Yeah, let's get to that. Yeah.
I will say that before we get to the Manhattan Center show, the best part of the night, besides Austin stunning Vince, was The Miz becoming an 8-time Intercontinental Champion.
That was and I posted it on our thread. I'm like, watch, if Miz wins this, he's going to get a Dolph Ziggler night after WrestleMania like pop. And what happened?
He did. As a matter of fact, and this wasn't shown at the Manhattan Center. Like after the show, like he received a hero's welcome when he arrived at the Manhattan Center when he took that $20 Uber to get there. Apparently, probably.
Possibly. Right.
Yeah. And I'll say it's this: what did the Intercontinental title do for Roman Reigns? Absolutely nothing.
Wait. Okay. Is this about to go? Are you about to take shots at Adrian?
Nah.
Who will be here next week?
Nah, I'm good. I've already said my piece. He knows the score. Let's get into the Manhattan Center show. For me, this was the real story because apparently those who attended the Manhattan Center show, not only were their tickets obscenely expensive,
A minimum of $400.
$400 minimum
To sit. They paid a minimum of $400 to sit in a room.
Yeah.
I mean, great. It would have been cool. I mean, great. The feeling just to like sit there and see the original set, the somewhat of original set. Mm-hmm. Like they even had the old IcoPro logo. They went into the warehouse and dug that up. Mm-hmm. Threw it in a wash machine and just like IcoPro.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what IcoPro really was. I think it was like a
supplement of some kind.
Yeah. And then they just basically watched the show on a big screen.
Yeah, I heard that like they trotted out like 4 like big screen TVs in front ringside for like each section of the audience, and like there were fans chanting bullshit, refunds, and we want something.
Yeah. As Eddie was saying, JR and Lawler were sleeping.
Yeah, did you see that picture?
Oh, of course, yeah.
That was hilarious.
That was released. You sent it to me today. That was released like 5 minutes after like the show went off the air.
Oh wow.
Yeah. A lot of commercials too.
There were a lot.
A little too much. It was like watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a case of them having to pay money for both venues or something like that, but there were a lot.
A little too much, and it was at bad times too. Like Razor Ramon comes up, Scott Hall comes out, and then they go to commercial.
Yeah, that was the weirdest one.
I'm like, wait, what's the? I'm hyping up. I'm like, yo, man, it's good to see Scott Hall. He's doing better. He's doing much better. Mm-hmm. From last I checked, the Resurrection of Jake the Snake documentary. Have you seen that yet?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, yo, it's good. It's good to see him doing well. And they just go to commercial. I'm like, the hell is this?
Yeah. And then
Road Dogg self-editing himself when he says, "Oh, you didn't." First of all, it didn't even feel. Yeah. It didn't really like feel right. Like he's like he did it just to do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, you better call somebody. No, it's yo ass better call somebody. And it's like, and the last somebody, like he didn't really hold it like he did. Mm-hmm. But it's like once he got into the ring, he kind of filled it up and stuff. X-Pac came out looking as skinny as he did when he was the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Yeah, he did.
But he had pop belly in the last DX reunion, so good for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all that. But what was cool was that they brought out the quote-unquote Balor Club.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And as like they're finally getting their seal of approval because they started doing the Bullet Club started using their NWO mannerisms, the whole too sweet thing. So it's like they got their seal of approval. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was cool. The breaks were bad all night. They came back 3 times from commercial, and the matches wrapped up within a minute. Yeah, it's like the event was just poorly timed.
It was, and as a matter of fact, like from what I read, some reports from fans who were in the arena at the Manhattan Center, they were treated to like a 2-3-minute cruiserweight matches that like wrapped up like in between commercial breaks. Yeah, so like they literally went out, did a couple of flips, pinfall, ran backstage.
Well, there was one good thing about it that you would find so satisfying.
And what was that?
No Enzo.
Yeah, well, for really terrible reasons.
We'll get into
that later on with the headlines. But yeah, I will say like overall, like like I said, the nostalgia tripping was fine. It was nice to see like some old faces back, like celebrating. But it just, especially like going like the go home show towards Royal Rumble, nothing. There was nothing.
Yay! Strowman strikes again.
Yeah,
and that's it. Mm-hmm. I do want to have to say one thing.
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar's gonna fuck his neck up whenever he gets clotheslined over the top. Like it's like he misses the apron because that's one thing you're supposed to do. Like when you're supposed to like post yourself on the apron when you go over. Mm-hmm. He completely misses it every time. Oh, and I'm just afraid like one day it's like he's gonna just really like slip and just gonna fall wrong and he's gonna hit his neck on that apron and it's not gonna be pretty.
Oof. Yeah. And plus he's like supposed to go back to UFC this year.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But yeah, Raw 25, it could have been much better, but like I said, I feel for the fans who spent all that hard-earned money,
right at the Manhattan Center. Barclays Center was popping.
Yeah, apparently.
Like they had, the Barclays Center had its good moments. The Dudley showing up. Mm-hmm. $1
Million Man.
That whole APA thing was freaking great. But I kind of did want to see them get into like a little bar fight type deal.
Yeah,
because that just would have been great.
Yeah,
I mean, unfortunately, they can't do it at the Friendly Tap where all their best bar fights were.
Yeah, that was like referee Tim White. He doing that. Yeah,
he used to. He sold it.
Oh, okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a whole completely different thing. Like there's like because I've been to the Friendly Tap before. Mm-hmm. Like back then when when Tim White still owned it, like you saw all the pictures, like lots of great wrestling history. And I actually met him there too. So he told so he was very very friendly, told some stories and stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the tickets were dumb expensive, Brian.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he was like very friendly. Told some Andre stories because he was really close with Andre.
Yeah.
You was able to see pictures that you would never think you would see.
Mm-hmm.
So, and actually, like Andre the Giant, he holds like a seafood eating record at the Nordic Lodge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I still gotta go. One day I'm gonna make it there. It's like $100 a plate, but it's like all you can eat seafood.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Raw 25, one for the books.
Yeah, it's in there now. Let's. I mean, but then I also read from somebody else. He's from somebody else I'm friends with on Facebook who's a huge wrestler fan. It's like he enjoyed it and he was like, "Listen, I understand everybody can't make it. Packing everybody into one show, like all the legends into one show, it could have been overkill."
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's like, you know.
But you still would have loved to see the faces that like made Raw. Like and you know, Undertaker showing up. Great to see him again.
I guess.
Great. You shut your face. Look, can I have my moment, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
As an Undertaker fan, can I have my moment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was great to see him again. You know, he made an announcement saying after 25 years, his opponents can rest in peace. So it's like, it sounds like a retirement, but it's still open. Like, now, as an Undertaker fan, I do want him to retire. The send-off that he had was perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was perfect. He shouldn't have. I still believe he shouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
To Roman.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I understand you got, you know, you're old school. You go out looking up at the lights. Mm-hmm. That's how everybody else lost. Mm-hmm. And just to clear things up, Undertaker officially retired when it said it's time for the souls to rest. See, that's what I thought, but then it's like, it still kind of felt open.
Yeah, like it didn't feel like definitive.
Right.
And because of that, it kind of felt like his appearance was, I dare say, wasted.
No, because it was just good to see him.
I mean,
he was a pillar in the Monday Night Wars.
Absolutely.
So it's like he had to have been there.
I mean, I thought it would have been cooler if like he came out maybe as himself as Mark Calloway.
Nah, because it wouldn't feel right. Like you're getting the. I mean, well, he's done it before, but even then, what's dope about it is like people were still cheering like one more match. So it's like people still want that presence.
They want the presence, but they don't know what they ultimately want. Do you want to see one more Undertaker match?
No, I don't want him to fight. I want him to, you know, be happy. I want Mark Calloway to enjoy his life, you know, be with his family and stuff. But it's like, I still, as a huge fan, I still want those feelings. I still want to hear that gong. I still want he has a presence. Mm-hmm. Like he's just that much of an icon that people still, like they want to see him go, but they still want to hang on to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes you got.
No, not the American Badass. Not the American Badass. It was cool for its time, but not the American Badass.
Yeah, but you know, you got to let things go, man.
You do. You do.
Yeah. Otherwise, you end up like Randy the Ram Robinson in The Wrestler. Oh man.
You know, that would have been funny if he would have showed up too.
Oh man.
Like, I still want my Madison Square Garden moment with the Ayatollah.
Oh man, that would have been so random and hilarious.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah. So yeah, Raw 25 people. Royal Rumble is next Sunday, so we'll get into that next week's episode of the podcast.
Yeah, we'll be reviewing that. So as a matter of fact, before we move on, who's your Royal Rumble pick?
I was gonna go with Shinsuke Nakamura, so he can go on to face AJ Styles.
Okay.
And as an alternate, Finn Balor.
I just have one.
Who?
Miz. He has way too much momentum going on right now. Like he's really over.
Oh, absolutely.
I honestly think his previous title run was just a little too soon for him. Because it really didn't. It really didn't feel nothing. Now, if they was to give him the belt, man,
Yeah.
it'll just be. They're like, yo, take it and run with it, and it'll be such a huge buyout. Definitely overbooked the stars, but they had no idea what to do with them. Aside from Austin, Dudley's, and DX, they buried the revival, but built Elias with the Cena thing, which was really good. What you think of that? The whole Elias Cena thing.
You know, I'm actually very surprised and perplexed that like Elias actually caught on with the main roster because he was boring as shit on NXT.
Right.
And the fans booed him, like gave him like straight like X-Pac heat every time he came out on NXT.
It was crazy. He barely wrestles.
Yeah, he barely wrestles.
This is like the whole douchey guitar playing gimmick like works for him.
Yeah, and the
And
fans.
he's actually not that bad on a guitar. He's pretty basic, but it's like he can carry a tune.
He can, and the fans are eating it up.
Yeah.
Which
It's entertaining. It's like Fashion Police. It's entertaining.
yeah, so yeah, good on him. Good on him for catching on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe he found something that worked.
yeah,
That really worked.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's those are all the headline stuff. And yes, Eddie, we all know Roman is winning. So Brock Lesnar has been keeping that belt warm, the Universal Championship for Roman since last year's WrestleMania.
Shout out to Adrian.
Yeah, and watch Adrian go, you see, that's why Roman is the greatest of all time. Oh my God.
Oh shit.
So let's move on to the
Shout outs to Jericho for wearing the Alpha Club jersey. I said jersey. The Alpha
shirt.
Club shirt too.
Yeah. Oh yes. Jericho.
And breaking out the list.
So yeah, we got some news and headlines this week.
All
Biggest headline this week is that the 90th Academy Awards nominations have been announced today, this morning.
Who's hosted the Oscars? It's James Corden, right?
No, it's
he's in.
oh man, not Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel, yes.
I like Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel's way better. Like this will be Jimmy Kimmel's second year hosting in a row.
I like Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. So yeah, we have for Best Picture, we have 9 films nominated. We have Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out,
That's my pick.
Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So the Oscars, they usually can nominate up to 10 Best Picture.
Oh, I always thought it
nominees.
was like 6. Maybe I'm just thinking Grammys because Grammys usually are like 5. I think they're like I think their nominees are usually like 5
Yeah.
a category.
Yeah. The Oscars used to nominate up to 5 Best Pictures, but they increased the number in 2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So out of all these are all well. I haven't seen Darkest Hour, but the other ones that I've seen, they're all great choices. I would love to see Get Out win Best Picture.
That would be so dope.
Yeah.
That would be so dope.
Yep. The only snub that I see there is Blade Runner 2049. For some reason, it wasn't nominated Best Picture, and it should have. It really should have, because it was my favorite film of the year. So for director, we have 5 nominees for Best Director. We have Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk. Hold that thought. We have Jordan Peele nominated for Best Director for Get Out. Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird. Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread, and Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water.
I'm going off of your review, and Shape of Water is going to be my Guillermo del Toro for Shape of Water is going to be my pick, and also his Emmy speech that they tried to cut off.
Oh, you mean the Golden Globes?
Golden Globes, excuse me. Yeah. And the resident supervillain John Apana comes in and says, no Marvel nominations. It must pain you that even Boss Baby can receive an Oscar nomination. We will get there, sir.
We'll get there in a second.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Jordan Peele, some fun facts about Jordan Peele's nomination. Jordan Peele becomes the 5th black director ever nominated for the Best Director Oscar.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was the previous 4? Do you know?
The previous 4 include John Singleton for Boys in the Hood.
That was nominated for an Oscar?
Yeah, for Best Director. In fact, Singleton still has the record for youngest director nominated.
Really?
Yeah, he was 24. 20. Damn. Yeah. For John Singleton, Boys in the Hood, Lee Daniels for Precious, Steve McQueen for 12 Years a Slave, and Barry Jenkins for Moonlight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Yeah, and Jordan Peele is also the first black filmmaker to land 3 nominations in one year for the Oscars for Best Picture, Best Director, and Original Screenplay. Christopher Nolan, I think he should win as well, but I would not be mad if any of these people won, because great choices. For lead actor, we have Timothy Chalamet for Call Me by Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, right on, Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire.
Okay, Denzel's the GOAT, so he don't need no more.
Oh no, yeah.
I'm rooting for Daniel Kaluuya, but I would like to see Daniel Day-Lewis get one more.
Yeah.
Just to, because he just retired.
Yep.
So it would be nice to see him get one more before he goes.
Yeah, I agree. Like, this will be his 4th lead actor Oscar if he wins,
right,
which is unprecedented. In fact, winning 3 of them is unprecedented. He's the only one to do it. So that would be an awesome achievement.
Yeah, Denzel only got 2, right?
Yeah, he has
for
2.
Glory and Training Day.
Yep. Yeah, Glory was supporting actor. Training Day was lead.
Right.
Yep. Timothy Chalamet has gotten tons of great praise for his role. And he definitely deserved his nomination.
Young too.
Yeah, he's like 24, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah. I do predict that the lead actor award will go to Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour. He plays Winston Churchill.
Oh, okay.
And that movie, if you see the trailer, it has like "Give me that Oscar" all over it. And Gary Oldman's a great actor too. He's never received an Oscar too. So there you go.
No, look at great actors like Johnny Depp, and it took forever for Leo to get one.
Yeah, that's true. I would have loved to see Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart nominated for Oscars, but because they were that good in Logan.
Keep going.
Yep, but we'll get
John
there.
Aponic.
Yeah. For lead actress, we have Sally Hawkins nominated for The Shape of Water, Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, and of course Meryl Streep, The Post. I'm gonna say Frances McDormand is gonna win this one, her 2nd Oscar.
That was my pick, but I would like to see Margot Robbie get it for I, Tonya. I've been hearing nothing but good things about that movie.
Oh yeah. As Tanya Harding, she was really good in that.
Not to mention, I remember this. I remember that story.
Oh yeah, yep. And it'd be nice if Sally Hawkins or Saoirse Ronan get it too. Yeah, any one of these can get it. The Oscar. Any one of them. Get your mind out of the gutter, Carl Byrd.
I didn't listen.
Any one of them can get the lead actor Oscar. Lead actress Oscar.
Oh my god.
Any one of them can get the lead actress Oscar.
Oh man, that was good.
Throwing me off my game.
Hey, you did that to yourself.
Whatever. Yeah. So anyway, moving on. Supporting actor nominations include Willem Dafoe for the Florida Project.
Does he have one at all?
No. Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards. Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water. Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World, and Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards. Man, I'm
taking Woody Harrelson. Just because I like Woody Harrelson.
I do too. But I will.
Willem Dafoe's great too, but
yeah, I'm gonna say Sam Rockwell is gonna win the Oscar for this one, and deservedly so, because he plays a real shitheel really well.
Why do I think Woody Harrelson was the lead actor in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri?
Well, he does play a key character, but he was more supporting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Christopher Plummer getting a nomination, which is actually pretty pleasing. Is that actually makes him the oldest acting Oscar nominee at 88 years old.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, still plugging away. Big ups to him. And for supporting actress, we have Mary J. Blige for Mudbound.
My pick.
Yeah,
That's just 'cause who doesn't love Mary?
Yeah, she's a great singer. Allison Janney for I, Tonya, Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water.
She won one last year, right? Not last year, a few years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago. The Help.
Yeah. My shit.
Yup. The shit pie, man.
Yeah, I remember. I remember meeting somebody. I don't know how we got into like a conversation about cake. You said I'll never eat chocolate cake again. Ever since I saw that movie, I'll never eat it again.
Yeah, well, fun fact about Octavia Spencer being nominated: she actually becomes the first black actress to be nominated in 2 consecutive years because she was nominated last year for Hidden Figures.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and she's the only black actress to follow up an Oscar win with 2 nominations because she won for The Help in 2011.
Good for her.
Yeah,
Get it?
yeah, black actors, baby. This one,
Chappelle Show.
yeah. I'm happy to see Mary J. Blige get an acting nomination for Mudbound, which is on Netflix, because she was very good in that. Man, this is kind of hard to choose. You can pick any one of these and they'd be deserving. I'm gonna say that Allison Janney's gonna win.
I knew
for
he was
I,
gonna
Tonya.
pick it. I knew he was gonna pick it.
Because Allison Janney, she does a great job playing a douchebag mom who's just totally awful. Oh man, she did it so well. Animated feature. Yes, John Haponic, The Boss Baby was nominated for animated feature. I don't know why. The Breadwinner, which I haven't heard of, was also nominated. Coco, yes, I think that's my pick to win.
It's mine too, off of the strength that you probably will cry over it again when you buy it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sissy.
Hey. Ferdinand, starring John Cena, that's been nominated.
Are you fucking shitting me?
What?
Oh my god, a John Cena movie is actually nominated
Yeah.
for an Oscar.
And
God, world's coming to an end. But you know,
well-
hey, I guess you came a long way since I'm a Marine.
yeah.
I can't do it. I'm a Marine.
And
So awful.
I bet it was.
I went to the theaters on a bargain night on Tuesday, and watched it.
Oh man. Did you regret it?
I did.
I bet you did. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And
It was just it was just them walking.
yeah.
Spent most of the movie walking.
Well, that's the Marine in a nutshell. And also Loving Vincent. Loving Vincent was nominated for Best Animated Feature as well. This one I predict Coco is going to win, and
That's
it's
because
just,
you wanted to win.
oh yeah, I
love-
do. Absolutely. And if not that, then definitely Loving Vincent, because that's a work of art in and of itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me. I remember you went to like the cable car to watch that one.
Oh no, I went to the Newport Art Museum.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah. For Best Original Screenplay, we have The Big Sick, written by Emily Gordon and Kumail Nanjiani. Get Out by
That's
Jordan.
my pick.
Yep, that's my pick too. Get Out by Jordan Peele, one of the best written films I've seen in years. Lady Bird by Greta Gerwig. The Shape of Water by Guillermo del Toro and Vanessa Taylor. And 3 Billboards by Martin McDonagh. Like I said, Get Out. This is Jordan Peele's Oscar to lose. He's going to win Best Original Screenplay, and he deserves it.
Regardless if he wins or loses, like his stock is just like up there.
Absolutely. Eddie
A
Ortiz.
Cena movie got nominated, but DCU and Marvel get no love. BS.
Well, actually, Eddie, Marvel got some love in this next category, the adapted screenplay. We have the following nominees for adapted screenplay: Call Me by Your Name, written by James Ivory; The Disaster Artist, written by Scott Neustadter and Michael Weber; Logan,
Bitch.
yeah, Logan was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, written by Scott Frank, James Mangold, and Michael Green. Eat it, John Haponic. Molly's Game by Aaron Sorkin, and Mudbound by Virgil Williams and Dee Rees.
Logan's my pick.
I would love to see Logan win. And as a matter of fact, that's Oscar history because Logan is the first superhero film to be nominated for a writing Oscar.
Oh.
Yeah.
An Oscar that counts, John Haponic.
Yeah, not makeup and hairstyling. Yeah, you know what? Just I'm telling you, Logan. Do I have to show you the pictures of Logan?
Oh, you ain't got to do all that.
Yeah,
Relax.
I'm
Relax.
gonna show him. I'm
Relax.
gonna show him.
Relax.
See it? Look. Here. Yeah.
Okay, Tisha Campbell in that episode of The Fresh Prince when she rips off her fingernails.
So yeah.
Godzilla on Netflix, amazing. Recommended. That had great animations.
Oh, I think he's talking about the Godzilla anime.
Anime, yeah.
So yeah. big ups to Logan. Hopefully it'll win it, but I won't be mad if any of the other nominees get that. For cinematography, Blade Runner 2049. My pick, Roger Deakins. Beautiful, most gorgeous film. If Roger Deakins, this is his 14th nomination, and he's never won an Oscar. If he doesn't win this year for the work that he did in Blade Runner 2049, I'm going to be pissed.
And nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen. I'll just be very disappointed. Okay. But the other
throw chairs.
Nah, not really.
Okay.
I'll write a sternly worded tweet. We also have a Darkest Hour nominated for cinematography from Bruno Del Bono, Dunkirk by Hoyt van Hoytema, Mudbound by Rachel Morrison, and The Shape of Water by Dan Loudston. Fun fact, with Mudbound's nomination for cinematography, Rachel Morrison, she becomes the first female cinematographer ever nominated for an Oscar. And she's also the cinematographer for Ryan Coogler's movies, Fruitvale Station, and the upcoming Black Panther.
She didn't do Creed?
No, she didn't do Creed. Yeah.
But I love Fruitvale Station. That was a real good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So far, I've only seen 2 Ryan Coogler movies, and they're both hits.
Yeah.
To me, at least.
Oh yeah, they're both like strong. Yeah, and Black Panther is going to be lit.
So fire.
Yeah. And it looks good, just judging from Rachel Morrison's work. Let me see.
Documentary feature.
Yes, documentary feature. This one, I haven't seen any of the nominees. I do know that one of them is available on Netflix, which is Icarus. We also have Abacus, Small Enough to Jail, Faces Places, which I hear is very good, Last Men in Aleppo, and Strong Island.
I couldn't even make a pick because I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, me neither.
I haven't seen anything of any of them.
Yeah. We have a foreign language film, one of which I've seen. We have The Square, which is made in Sweden. A Fantastic Woman from Chile. The Insult from Lebanon. Loveless from Russia. And On Body and Soul from Hungary. I've heard a lot of great things about A Fantastic Woman. That's actually opening in theaters next month here. I'm thinking that either that could win, judging from the buzz, but I'm gonna pick The Square because that's a really good film.
I think you posted it. Did you see the Creed 2 Ivan they picked? They did cast somebody for
for Creed 2, the son of Ivan Drago.
Right. Hold on. You can keep going.
Oh yeah. Also for the last 3 categories here, we have original score for the Oscars. We have original score Dunkirk from Hans Zimmer, Phantom Thread by Johnny Greenwood, The Shape of Water by Alexander Desplat, Star Wars: The Last Jedi by John Williams, and 3 Billboards by Carter Burwell.
All right, and boxer Florian Montanu, I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong. He's going to be playing Ivan Drago's son.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That kind of sounds a little hokey, but all right. So yeah, original score. I can tell you that I've listened to everything except 3 Billboards. I can't really recall the score for that one. I think Johnny Greenwood should win the Oscar for this one.
I picked Star Wars because it's the only one I saw.
Yeah, all right. Dunkirk has an awesome score by Hans Zimmer, and The Shape of Water is a beautiful one by Alexander Desplat. So any one of these can win. I would not be opposed, but I think Johnny Greenwood is my pick for Phantom Thread. Original song, we have Mighty River from Mudbound with Mary J. Blige.
Sure, she murdered it. I haven't heard it.
Oh yeah, Mary J. Blige is a powerful singer.
Yeah, she is.
Mystery of Love by Sufjan Stevens from Call Me By Your Name. Remember Me from Coco.
I picked that one because it made me realize that Victor it actually didn't make me realize. It reminded me that Victor strongly needs to do some push-ups.
I do push-ups, man.
I can out push-up you. I'll tell you that.
Whatever, man. I bet not.
Really? Are we gonna have to make this a code extra?
No. We don't have to do that because I don't want to embarrass you. We have
really?
Yeah, we have 2.
Okay, no, we're gonna have to make this a code extra then.
Nah. We have 2 more nominations for original song. Stand Up for Something from Marshall, from Diane Warren and Common. And This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, written by Ben Pasek and Justin Paul. Remember Me's going to take this one because if you've seen Coco and you listen to that song Remember Me, if you don't shed tears, You have a heart of stone. In fact, you have no heart at all.
Coming from somebody who wants to see kids cry in Infinity Wars.
Yes, I do.
I think so. You have a heart of stone.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. And then lastly, we have visual effects for the Oscars. We have Blade Runner 2049, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Suck it. Wait. 2 Marvel nominations, John Aponic. Suck it.
That's right. Even though Guardians 2 was trash. Kong, Skull Island, which I hear was good. I haven't seen that yet. Star Wars The Last Jedi, and what's going to be the clear winner, War for the Planet of the Apes.
I chose Star Wars on that one.
Nah, if you've seen War for the Planet of the Apes, the visual effects there is the clear winner. Has to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the major nominations for the 90th Academy Awards.
I've not seen Coco and really not interested. Me neither. Don't feel bad, Eddie.
Man, y'all missing out. Y'all missing out, man. It's emotional. It's beautiful. I love it.
I'll probably fall asleep.
Fuck, kiss my ass, man. Kiss my ass. I mean, it's like I'm trying to present some good art to you, and it's like pearls before swine. Well, I'm gonna fall asleep on it.
They won't join Suicide Squad as a winner. That's where it matters. Yo, he is a straight up apologist.
I'm telling you.
But you know what? I respect your loyalty, but Jesus Christ, John, like, shit was garbage.
It was. Like I said, John, he's just bitter because, he doesn't know what it feels like as a DC watcher to have consistently good films trotted out one after another. Even though Marvel has some stumbles here and there.
Stumbles, yeah.
But John Hapon, he doesn't know what it's like to have consistent quality like we do.
Great.
And I pity you, John. I understand your saltiness. And
I want
pity
John
you.
to come on the show.
I do too. We will make it happen.
We got to make
day.
it happen.
Yes, and then you can come on the show and justify your apologia for the DC Extended Universe, which is going to be rebooted, by the way.
Is that even a real word?
Apologia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, apologia. That's how it's pronounced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, your DCEU apologia. Yes. Yes, you're going to have to come on this show and justify it. And by the way...
debate.
Or debate, which I'm going to win.
Debate.
Yeah. And by the way, John, the DCEU is getting rebooted, so you might as well get on the Marvel horse, pal. I'm sorry.
We are Groot.
Yes. So yeah, that's the complete Oscar nominations there. Real quick, I will say I was very surprised and a little disappointed that Wonder Woman was completely snubbed. Just saying.
It's a DCEU. Suck it, John.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Wonder Woman...
I know you like it, but...
Yeah, I know. The fact that Wonder Woman got snubbed and then Suicide Squad got an Oscar nomination, that kind of disappoints me.
That is.
But whatever. Yeah. I think we can skip a couple of these headlines real quick. I'll skip this one. I'll skip this one. Real quick headline here. John Cena, still doing the acting thing. He is in talks to star in a Duke Nukem film.
Oh, well, okay. John Cena, video game movie. You shouldn't even. There was no need for you to even read the damn headline.
Yeah.
There's already two formulas where it's gonna mess up, where that's destined to flop.
I mean, John Cena as Duke Nukem. I mean, hopefully this movie won't take as long as Duke Nukem Forever to come out.
No, it's just he just has the look. He has a flap top and muscles.
Yeah,
and that's probably the only person they thought of to say, John Cena, he can do it.
I mean, I can see John Cena uttering the line, "I've got balls of steel."
I literally just heard it, and I was just like, eh.
Yeah, Duke Nukem's like,
I'm not gonna go ahead and pay money to watch it.
Yeah,
Suicide Squad lower than BVS for me, and lower than Killing Joe, and that fell flat for me. Dark Knight 1 and 2 and Return of the Joker better than the Killing Joe. It was overhyped in the R rating. Okay, Nick.
Yeah,
Nick, you need to get on the show too.
Yeah, why not? And lastly, before we get into our worst of 2017, and what a segue this is, unfortunately, this is actually quite a serious headline. So, just keeping that out there. Enzo Amore, he has officially been fired by the WWE amidst a serious rape accusation. This announcement comes 24 hours after a Twitter user who goes by Miss Gucci Witch on Twitter and Philomena on Snapchat.
Did you see her?
I've seen one photo.
I seen two. I seen a couple. I went into her Twitter because I got curious.
Yeah.
So I'm skeptical.
Well, hold that thought.
I'm very skeptical.
Let's.
I can just leave it at that. I'm very skeptical. Go on her Twitter feed. And see what it's about. As a matter of fact, when I checked it, she has like 200 followers.
Okay.
I'm actually getting ready to check her Twitter right now.
Okay.
Just to see if her followers increase because of that.
Okay. Well, let me read the headline here. So Enzo has been fired by the WWE. This announcement comes 24 hours after Philomena posted details of her encounter with Amore, in which she alleges that the now former WWE star raped her last October. Philomena also implicated two other individuals by name, fashion designers Tyler Grosso and a woman named Layla Shapiro, who the Twitter user, who Philomena claims let Enzo rape her after being present in their hotel room. Philomena also confirmed with the website Fightful that she went to the doctors on October 20th, then had a rape kit performed and filed a police report on October 23rd, 2017. She also stated that she admitted herself to a mental hospital for 45 days following the incident. No charges have been filed so far at this time. Now, WWE initially suspended Amore indefinitely following the accusation, stating their zero tolerance policy on matters of sexual assault and sexual harassment. However, on WWE.com, the company revealed today that they have outright released Enzo, only writing, quote, WWE has come to terms with the release of Eric Ardent, Enzo Amore.
She gained 2,666 followers.
Okay.
Within a day. I think the reason why it's skeptical, maybe because I'm judging a book by its cover, and like the thing, she has a private Snapchat, and when people have private Snapchats, it's usually like just putting themselves out there.
Okay.
It just seems like she's just she's taking advantage of the whole hashtag Me Too movement and trying to cash in.
Okay.
So I mean,
well,
that's why I'm skeptical. Okay.
Yeah, I know that it's a damning accusation, and until the results of that rape kit test are released.
But still, you're still gonna be guilty in a court of public opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like even if Enzo Amore is found ultimately not guilty, so to speak, on that accusation, yeah, his public persona is pretty much tainted. But with that said, I will say that Enzo Amore has never been. He's always, his public persona. He's always been kind of a douchebag, like on camera and off camera. So. I mean, that's all I'll say on that matter. Like, let's see all the facts come to light, as this story develops. But Enzo Amore being fired, I'd say that is the right call from WWE, at least in my opinion. Yeah,
especially like with WrestleMania coming up, like they don't want nothing to we're as of Sunday, the road to WrestleMania starts. They don't want nothing to they don't want any type of blemishes coming out whatsoever.
Yeah. That's it. So yeah, that's the headline. That does it for the news and headlines. And segueing awkwardly into our worst things of 2017. So after this, we'll leave 2017 officially on the back burner. But yeah, we'll be covering some things like of last year, like in whether it's movies, wrestling, pop culture, whatever that kind of disappointed us or we weren't feeling, to say the least. So we'll kind of go back and forth, and we'll start off with you, Carl. What you got for us?
To start off, even though it was just okay, I have to dive into the superhero movie realm.
Okay.
Justice League, dude.
Yeah, Justice League was trash.
I say it's okay. Like I didn't love it.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it. But it's just like, they're like, you guys are getting your ass kicked. You had Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. Like, hopefully, you have these extra superheroes that you're bringing in a little too soon. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe you got something here, but it just still couldn't quite it couldn't deliver. Mm-hmm. At least to me that is. And then, not to mention Superman's mouth was just awful.
Yeah, the CG'd upper lip.
Yeah, the CG upper lip. It looked like The Rock and the Scorpion King.
Wow. Yeah, it did. Yeah, that was pretty awful.
It looked like Mortal Kombat, the CGI.
Yeah. Justice League, like we reviewed it in detail on episode 100. I will say that this is a film that was definitely done by committee, and it was done rather haphazardly. You can see the styles clash between Zack Snyder's vision and Joss Whedon's, right. And this is a clear sign that and Warner Brothers and DC has admitted it. They're going to work towards rebooting the entire DCEU, especially with Flashpoint. So John Haponic can defend this movie all he wants, but I'm sorry, John. Justice League doesn't work. Justice League is the reason why we're gonna get a rebooted DCEU. I'm sorry.
He says so. Justice League was worse than Medea Halloween 2.
Well, I have not.
Me neither. I haven't even seen the first one.
I will say that Justice League is probably the Tyler Perry Boo Medea Halloween 2 of the DCEU and comic films in general.
I would give it comic films in general.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what you got? What's first on your list?
First on my list, this we're going into. Since you're mentioning comic book films, I have a comic book film of my own, and yes, John will probably be very pleased to hear this. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I had fun watching it. So.
I can see why people say it's fun, but ultimately, I felt it was a letdown. It was a film that gave you more of what you thought you wanted by upping all the cornball jokes and quips. The storyline was inconsequential, and they were shoving Baby Groot in your throat like buy Baby Groot merchandise. Yeah. Buy it.
They definitely was doing that, but and I enjoy the jokes. It was a fun movie to me. It was just like it was one of those things where you didn't really need to take it entirely too seriously. I mean, yeah, it does fall into the MCU and all that. Mm-hmm. Gee, all this DCU talk, I almost said that. I almost insulted Marvel. I'm sorry, but like it was just one of those. It's like, all right, Guardians 2. We're gonna. It'll be a separate story. Mm-hmm. That's in the MCU, but it's just let's have some fun with this one. Mm. And then they did. They had some great moments. Taserface was still hilarious. Who's played by, I forget his real name, but he's Toby in This Is Us.
Okay. Yeah.
So that whole Taserface scene, and what got me amped was it's like, oh my god, they're actually gonna like bring in Adam Warlock into the MCU. Yeah. I don't know how that's gonna happen. I'm still curious to like who could play him. Mm-hmm. But it's like the whole Kurt Russell, being Star-Lord's father,
Ego,
yes, thank you. And you got to know Gamora a little more, like the relationship between Gamora and Nebula.
Yeah.
So I mean, and there was some perks to, I wouldn't say not to trash the movie, but it was like,
I mean,
I wouldn't consider it a Marvel hit.
No,
it wouldn't be a hit. It's probably mediocre.
It is.
It's mediocre. Like, I've never seen a bad MCU movie.
Yeah, I mean, I will say like
We'll get to the shows in a bit.
yeah,
But I've never seen a bad MCU movie. They're mediocre at worst.
yeah. Like I say, like the most mediocre. Like if you're talking about like the worst out of all the MCU films, I would go with Thor: The Dark World.
I'm still working on my Marvel back-to-back, my MCU back-to-back, so I'll get to that eventually.
Yep. Yeah, so that's how I feel about Guardians.
I'm actually kind of behind because I gotta find a copy. I gotta get a copy of Iron Man 2.
Nah, you don't. I think it's on.
It's not on Netflix
Oh damn. Yeah,
or Hulu.
just rent it. Just go to the library and find a copy.
Probably would.
Yeah. What you got next on your list for worst of?
I defended it at first, but then over time, I came to the conclusion like this shit was whack. Iron Fist on
That's
Netflix.
right. Yes, Iron Fist is trash.
What held my faith to like watch it was because I really didn't know, I wasn't too familiar with the character, so this was my chance to actually say, hey, you know, let me get to know the character. I usually like to I like to see the good and the bad. So I would say Iron Fist, with the way they did it, there's hope for the future because they got a whole new team for it. But I saw improvement in Defenders. He's a much better supporting character than he is a star character.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's what I'm gonna go with. But as for himself, and the hands just seemed a little too weak. So maybe there's hope, you know, with the new Daredevil, with the new seasons coming up, that Wilson Fisk teams up with the hand, and that would just I would say that would up the hand stock a little bit in the Marvel Netflix series.
Yeah, that would be an interesting direction for sure. Give them purpose.
Yeah, because I mean they have crossed paths before with Madame Gao and Wilson Fisk and Daredevil.
Yeah. Iron Fist wasn't a hit for me. 3 episodes and I couldn't finish it, man.
I did the whole thing.
Yeah,
Knocked it out in one weekend.
yeah, good for you, man.
I ain't have shit to do that weekend.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll say like perhaps one of the worst movies I've seen was on Netflix, and it was Death Note.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, which I reviewed on the podcast.
You did.
Yeah, Death Note was absolutely horrible. Just a complete mockery of the great anime, which is also available on Netflix. Just watch the 36 episode anime. Perfect binge watching material. This movie though was just butt. This Death Note the movie was butt. Just hairy,
What are you?
just hairy, stanky butt.
Okay.
That's my review of Death Note the
there
movie.
we go.
Yeah.
All right. I'll come back. Inhumans.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh, that was bad. I actually went to IMAX to watch the first 2 episodes. And I'm like, I wanted to say something good, but it was like, you know what? I left the theater and I just said to myself, am I really gonna watch this? Am I really gonna stay in on a Friday night and watch this? I still haven't.
Yeah.
And it got canceled.
Wow.
And 14 people who did watch it tried to petition for a new season.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and no, I did not get a refund.
Damn. Already canceled.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, Agent Carter only lasted 2 seasons,
yeah.
but like I guess Agent Carter, I didn't think she really needed a ongoing series because she kind of came full circle like in Civil War when she finally died.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she had a proper ending at least. Okay, so for me, for one of the worst of 2017, this is getting into the wrestling world. My absolute worst of 2017 was Jinder Mahal as WWE champion.
Yes.
Incidentally, for those who are familiar with the website WrestleCrap.com, Jinder Mahal also won the 2017 Gobbledygooker Award for worst of 2017. Jinder Mahal was horrible, was the worst in WWE for several reasons. One, before he won the championship, he never held a WWE title of any kind. He never won a pay-per-view match. He was once tapped out by the Brooklyn Brawler. And he once lost to El Torito clean. And he was a jobber to the Stars and Scrubs. Never really won any matches when he was on TV. Then Jinder disappears, and then he returns with this brand new, jacked up, veiny physique.
3D nipples. Shout out to Edmund for that one.
Yep, with full of the fatty deposits, which I'm sure was 100% on the level, and without any sort of enhancements, allegedly. But then when you have a bunch of acne on your back and your chest and fatty growths on your pectorals, are you really going to tell us that it's all workouts and a diet? Are you really going to insult our intelligence? I don't know. Anyway, and then he had the nerve to give Finn Balor a concussion on Monday night on their match on Raw before he was drafted to SmackDown. And so Jinder Mahal, the reason why he was so bad, like his whole run as champion came out of nowhere.
Right.
He
did it for shock value.
Strictly for shock value, and it was a cynical ploy to court the Indian market.
And that still failed.
And it failed because the Indian market couldn't care less about Jinder Mahal. Case in point, the very arena that they had their India shows on in the fall, in that same arena, they actually sold out 2 years prior. And then when Jinder Mahal came without the belt because AJ Styles rescued it from him, the fans didn't care. And then Jinder Mahal ends the year and ends his 2017 without the belt, thank goodness, and he loses and he jobs out and he's jobbing to Triple H in a nothing house show match. And then when you think about it, look at Jinder Mahal's run. Tell me exactly what was his character? You can't really describe his character.
A Indian aristocrat.
Not even. It's like he was born and raised in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, right? And then also, he cut the exact same promo every single week. It's like, I'm Jinder Mahal, and I will speak to my people in Punjabi. I represent the pride of 1.3 billion Indian people, and I am the champion. Please. Terrible promos, terrible matches. Shinsuke Nakamura, one of the very best athletes on the planet Earth in professional wrestling, could not carry Jinder Mahal to a watchable match. And then you have Shinsuke Nakamura, and that's another one of my worst of.
Yeah, he lost cleanly to him with that god-awful move, the Kalash.
Yeah, which is like a Cobra clutch slam, which looks terrible, by the way. Shinsuke Nakamura had to sell that abortion of a move twice in 2 consecutive pay-per-views, and it amounted to nothing. Jinder Mahal, the 50th man to become WWE champion, had the most irrelevant championship run in that belt's history. And yes, I am including The Miz. And then on top of that, right? What is Jinder Mahal doing now? Nothing.
He's in the U.S. title.
Well, he's in the U.S. title hunt, but that's and that's where he belongs.
If he was growing, because I think he was becoming a good heel because everybody really hated him that much.
Well, not because he was a good heel, because it was simply awful.
So it was to the point where he was putting people over. I think he would have had a chance to grow into a mid card level, and then that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
I agree.
That's it. That's his ceiling. That's his peak.
Yeah, and it should have been the mid card. And also all of his matches as WWE champion, he never won any of his matches clean. No. Always with the Singh brothers, which made him more of a joke than he already was. So yeah, Jinder Mahal, absolutely the worst of 2017 in WWE. May we never see a BS reign like that ever again. I would rather see I would rather see an Okada-length Roman Reigns run for the WWE Championship. I'd rather see Roman Reigns hold that championship for 500 days straight than see another Jinder Mahal championship run of any kind.
I may have to send that. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Adrian, he has to hear this before before he comes back next week.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
I
The
see.
solar eclipse of August 21st. I was actually looking forward to actually finally seeing one, and it was cloudy that day. I was pissed.
Yeah. We didn't really get much of the eclipse here.
We couldn't you would have been able to see it, but it was just it was cloudy.
Oh, yeah.
That was very disappointing. Like I'm sitting there Googling ways because I didn't get the notice of the eclipse in time to order the glasses. So I'm like, they're saying, oh, just put your camera phone on selfie mode and you'll be able to see it then. Nope, just saw clouds.
Yeah.
Everybody else got it, but not us.
Yeah. And for those of you who actually looked at the solar eclipse without any protective eyewear, shame on y'all.
You couldn't see shit anyways. It was cloudy.
Well, no, for those
I actually did.
no, for those who were able to see it like in other parts of the country.
I did. I looked right at it. I'm like, there's nothing.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you crossed out. I won't say anything though.
Oh, the Ezekiel Elliott suspension because I didn't want to run. I didn't want to go overtime. Yeah, I'm highly pissed off at the Ezekiel Elliott suspension. It's basically because Roger Goodell tried to cover up how badly he handled the Ray Rice situation. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I agree, Eddie Ortiz.
And I crossed that out to Ed. Trump. I don't want to get into politics.
You know,
We stay politics free. He's
Yeah.
ready to get into it.
Yeah, I'll have to.
It's been bigly. His presidential run has been bigly awful.
It's bigly, it's tremendous. You know what? Let me tell you something right now.
It's an island surrounded by water, big water,
It's a goddamn embarrassment.
ocean water.
You know, yes.
I don't even remember what that was about. I just remember just that. I'm just like, really? Yes, we know what an island is.
Yeah, he was talking about Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Eddie. I agree. Trump. Enough said. I don't have to say anything more than that. You know, I'm gonna say something more. You know what? The American people. I like this country. I'm proud to be a citizen. I'm proud to be a voter. Midterm elections are so important. 2018. Put your money where your mouth is. Don't just sit home and complain about this unfit, morally bankrupt, ethically bankrupt so-called commander-in-chief. Vote the orange bum out of office. What?
Celebrity-in-chief.
Yeah, celebrity-in-chief, WWE Hall of Famer. Vote the bum and all the bums that support him out of office in the midterms this year. Or if you want to sit home and you want to complain about this shit rather than do your civic duty of voting for the right people who actually are competent and know what they're doing, then you have no right to complain.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Sure.
I'm sure.
You want to throw a chair?
I do, but I'm keeping my composure.
All right, please.
But just the mention of his name just turns me into the Hulk, man.
Yeah, I know. All right. Yeah, Eddie. # kill Satan, beat Satan, and that's all I'm saying. Next, moving on. What's your worst of?
Continuing in the wrestling world.
Okay.
Bray Wyatt, as Jason Solomon of the Solid Monster Sounds Off Wrestling Podcast would say, he is the eater of pins. Bray Wyatt, just for the horrible House of Horrors match at WWE Payback.
Was that this year?
It was last year.
Last year. Oh.
Yeah, for not only the match took place at nighttime, but it was daytime at the arena in San Jose.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was awful. But you know what? The cinematography was actually it was very well shot.
For a wrestling thing.
For a wrestling match, it was very well shot.
It was.
Pretty good cinematography there.
Yeah.
But kudos to the WWE production crew.
Yeah, I mean they
That was so bad. You gotta laugh.
I know. I mean,
You gotta laugh.
they tried to shine a turd. They did the best they could.
They did.
Not only that, Bray Wyatt's transitional WWE Championship reign, and his feud with Finn Balor, which would have ended in a Sister Abigail cosplay, but thankfully to meningitis that never happened. So we were spared that sight. Bray Wyatt, he's all microphone skills, and that's all.
Okay.
I don't care about him anymore. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm going into the wrestling world. The Undertaker being retired by Roman Reigns. Now, the send-off, beautiful. I still believe that he should have retired with the streak.
Yeah.
I thought he should have left at end of an era with Triple H, because the match was fire.
Mm-hmm.
The send-off was great.
Yep.
He still had the streak,
Mm-hmm.
and that would have been it.
Yeah.
But as we all know, the streak ended with Brock Lesnar and then Roman Reigns. Like of somebody who did not need the rub.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he was the guy to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
I still don't believe that. If anybody could have done it, yes, the match would have been 10 years too late. But Sting.
Yeah, but that's like a be careful what you wish for scenario.
No,
At this
it's
point.
10 years too. Trust me, it was like it's 10 years too late. But Sting.
Mm-hmm. Or, speaking of people who don't need that rub, I was gonna say John Cena, but
No, he definitely doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Cena's like just chilling now.
Oh yeah, he is. He's just an institution in and of himself. Yeah, I will agree with Roman Reigns being the one to retire the Undertaker.
You agree with it?
No, I agree with you putting it on your worst list.
Oh, okay.
Because Undertaker, he could have been retired by. He should have retired way earlier. I mean, with the streak being broken, or like his match against CM Punk. I think his match against CM Punk would have been.
That was a good match too.
Yeah,
it showed that like he still got it, but it showed that he still got it, but he didn't need it.
Right.
I don't think he really needed it.
But I think that would have been the perfect time for Undertaker to retire, because that's when Paul Bearer had unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
And then when Undertaker saluted the urn at the end, that could have been the perfect end of an era.
That was a good send off too. But,
yeah. The perfect end of an era.
But the thing about that is just that it was more about Paul Bearer and not about him.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why I say the previous year with end of an era.
Yeah.
It would have been just more about all three of those guys.
Yeah. True.
It's like Triple H, he wrestles sporadically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shawn Michaels has been gone.
Yep.
And Undertaker just would have went out then. Like it still would have been cool to share that moment, and him being retired, it would overshadow it just a bit.
Yeah.
But yet I don't know, just the moment would have been much better.
Hey, yeah. That's fair.
So yeah. Go ahead. What's your next one?
My next one is the WWE Cruiserweight division. And 205 Live.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So in 2016 you had the excellence of the WWE Cruiserweight Classic tournament. Mm-hmm. And then Vince McMahon got his hands on the division when he transitioned to the main roster with no fanfare, no build up for any of these athletes. So the mainstream audience didn't know who any of these talented athletes were. You fast forward to Neville being champion, giving the division some prestige and credibility. But then he loses to that fucking human trash can, Enzo Amore, who further diminishes the championship by becoming a 2-time champion. And then 205 Live is riddled with a bunch of meaningless 6-man tags or 2-man tag team matches, competitors that really go nowhere. I don't care about any of these athletes, and it's sad to say. I want to cheer for Cedric Alexander. I want to cheer for Drew Gulak, Hideo Itami, and others, Rich Swann. But you know what I mean. But But 205 Live does not give me any reason to care about these athletes because their matches are meaningless. The storylines, such as they are meaningless. They're treated as a second and third rate compared to the rest of the main roster. And if you're a talented athlete, if you're a cruiserweight who's 205 pounds and under, you're either forced to job to Enzo Amore, who's a terrible wrestler, or you have your momentum cut from underneath you.
Yeah, they have the talent. They're just poorly booked.
Yeah, it's a death sentence.
They literally need to let the cruiserweights do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
my
feed was a bit off of my computer.
Yeah.
But yeah, they need to let them do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then just they kind of need to do what WCW did with their cruiserweights.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I
don't think if you were gonna give the cruiserweights a show, put it on Thursdays instead of Tuesdays.
Yeah, like when the SmackDown audience is just tired and want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the cruiserweight division.
Okay.
Yeah.
My next one. Tyrese. Tyrese, dude.
I just want my baby.
Oh my God, he just embarrassed himself this year, and he tried to make excuses for the whole, saying that he was on medication, saying that there was some horrible allegations against him. Mm-hmm. So he goes on Instagram Live and just goes off, just crying, claims that Will Smith and Jada was gonna lend him $3 million because he's going broke. Mm-hmm. He was taking shots at The Rock because The Rock decided to pick up a movie with Fast and Furious spinoff with Jason Statham.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, Fast and Furious is about family and all that." But it's like everybody was gonna get a spinoff soon.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, he has the momentum right at the time, so why not? Mm. But just him, you're embarrassing yourself, dude. Mm. And now all of a sudden you're the new. I mean, the Jordan crying face is still holding its own, but you was the crying face meme.
Yeah, of 2017.
Yeah, I put my face on it for certain situations. I put a Jordan crying face meme on myself. Mm-hmm. I made myself a Tyrese one too for certain situations.
Yeah. What more do you want from me? Oh, man. I will say that his crying rant did give us a really good Baltimore Club remix on YouTube.
Sure did.
Yeah, and for me, my last worst of 2017, still in the wrestling world, and this one's kind of a tie. Shinsuke Nakamura becoming just yet another face on the main roster. When he was on NXT, he was booked to be a rock star. He was booked to be the athlete of his caliber. 2-time NXT champion, matches of the year. He was awesome. When he went up to the main roster, he was just another face, and he was just nothing more but an entrance.
His time's gonna come. I have faith that his time's gonna come, and he's I'm really. Because Triple H listens to the fans. He hears that they want that because they tease us a lot whenever him and AJ are in the same room. Mm-hmm. They kind of do some type of stare down or they kind of reference their past matches and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're gonna give it to us.
They would, but it's indicative of how mediocre and how autopilot their booking is, because they could build Nakamura as the big deal that he is, but it's they're just holding off on it until that big WrestleMania payoff that we might get with AJ Styles. But there's a danger in that booking because it shows that it was as I feared. Vince McMahon would not know what to do with an athlete like Nakamura, as unique as Nakamura, and it showed. Also, it shows that by the time Nakamura gets to the pinnacle, I'm gonna stop caring, and it's sad. I shouldn't say that, but that's how Vince McMahon books his talent. And also, the other half of that tie is Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode not being booked to be the heel that he was on NXT, instead being booked as a bland babyface on SmackDown.
You know it's that theme song.
I know.
Everybody just loves it too much. It's the theme song and it's the entrance. It's like people want to see Bobby Roode. Like people who really weren't familiar with him in NXT, they want to see him just because of the entrance.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's the same problem with Nakamura. It's like you boiled those two great athletes to an awesome entrance, and everything else is bland. And
yeah, I still love that. I still love that theme song.
Yeah, it's a great entrance theme.
Yeah.
But everything else about that, even though Bobby Roode is the U.S. champion now, it's like
It's
but
I look at it as something.
yeah,
Something that should be more, but it's something.
yeah, I'll agree. They can build off that, but will they? I don't know.
You never know.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually good now.
Yeah. So that's our worst of 2017 right there.
Let me get on to question of the week. We had some pretty good responses.
Okay. As your feed spazzes out there.
Yeah, again. All right. So on Instagram, the question of the week was, who was your favorite underappreciated superhero? If you look on our Instagram, I used both of our answers. Mine was the Rocketeer. Mm-hmm. Yours was the Phantom.
Yep.
So, okay. Jim Savard says, Victor.
Thank you, Jim. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
I approve. Strongly approve.
John Aponic says, Resurrection Man, who dies but each time comes back with new memories and powers. Only lasted 24 to 26 issues. I also like Starman, Stargirl, Jubilee, and Aztec, the Ultimate Man.
Interesting. Haven't heard of any of those except Jubilee.
Okay. Dollar Store Film on Twitter said, Powdered Toast Man.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, man, that was a good one. That was such a good one. And for Facebook, I know it was Nick Quattrini. Let me just scroll into it. It's not that far back. Here we go. Nick Quattrini says... Nick Quattrini says Stargirl. He had more written to it, but it's just my phone's kind of acting up right now. So, yeah, he says Stargirl.
Nice.
So, this week... Name an actor that you hate because of a performance that he or she did in a film or TV show.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me. I mean, I don't really hate any actors based on one performance. I'm gonna have to really think about that. What you got?
I would have to say for a while I hated Jack Gleason, who played Joffrey in Game of Thrones. And what's his face who played he was in Inhumans too. And in Game of Thrones.
Oh, the guy who plays Ramsay Bolton.
Yes, Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah. Those two actors can play super cunts really well.
Yeah. You have to really say this. You have to really say that.
Shoot. What they put, the stuff that they get away with on those shows? No, there's no other word.
Ewan Rion?
Yeah. Yep.
I hope I'm saying his name right.
Yep.
And also Ron Cephas Jones from Paid in Full because he kidnapped Mitch's brother and killed him and had no remorse for it. But now he kind of redeemed himself as William and This Is Us. Mm-hmm. And his character in Luke Cage.
Okay.
And also the guy who killed Ricky. Like, he also killed somebody else too. And I'm just like, yo, I do not trust him at all. But I think he actually died. So let me stop. Let me just scratch him off there.
Man, I'll have to go with the recent one, and I've said this before. Will Poulter in Detroit. That's all I'm gonna say. I've said my piece on it. If you've seen that movie, if you haven't seen that movie, go watch that movie and watch Will Poulter in Detroit, and you'll understand why.
He was so funny. Because he was so funny in We Are the Millers.
He doesn't sing no TLC songs in Detroit. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen We're the Millers though.
You haven't?
Nah.
Yo, oh my god. He'll probably redeem you from there.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our question of the week. That'll be posted up within a day or two on our social medias. Thanks for tuning in. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, please leave us a 5-star review. Google Play, SoundCloud. Am I missing anything?
Did you mention iTunes?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I think that's everything. YouTube?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you mentioned everything.
All right. Like, subscribe, share. Do it all.
Yeah, man. Indeed. And
and email us at codexprimepodcast@gmail.com.
yes, indeed. And once again, we thank you all for tuning in. And be sure to tune in next week. We're going to be talking about the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and there's an NXT TakeOver Philly as well.
Yep. NXT TakeOver Philly.
And everybody's favorite, Adrian Price, will be back.
Yes, he'll be back for more wrestling talk.
Yes.
And I guess
possibly another debate.
Nah, but they'll probably be.
It'll lead to a debate.
No, there'll probably be more Roman Reigns cheerleading on his part, because, well, you know, hey. But yeah, like
as you say, he's an apologist.
Well, as I'll say, my final word on this is that, you know, Roman Reigns, he's not a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's a guy. And with that, we will catch you on the flip. Peace out, nerds.
Later.